The brightest flames cast the darkest shadows, because light that cannot be controlled is feared the most. They thought they had buried you. They thought if they ignored you long enough, if they pushed you aside, you would disappear. But here you are, rising, unshaken, unstoppable. And now their fear has turned into desperation. They whisper your name behind closed doors, scrambling to understand why they couldn't break you, why their weapons failed, why their lies never chained you down. But let me make something very clear. They were never fighting you. They were fighting the universe itself. And no one, no force, no system can ever win against the universe when it comes to defend its own. Before we go any further, like this video, subscribe, and help spread this message to every chosen one out there. When you engage, you send a signal, not just to YouTube, but to the very energy that surrounds us. More chosen ones will find this, more will wake up, and the enemy will have no place left to hide. Listen to me carefully, chosen one. You are not here by accident. There is a reason your path has been different. There is a reason you have felt isolated, misunderstood, even hunted. And no, you are not imagining it. They have been watching you, studying you. They see the way you move, the way your presence shifts the atmosphere, the way people look to you without even realizing it. You don't just exist, you disrupt, you shake, you destroy illusions with nothing but your presence. You are the question they cannot answer, the problem they cannot solve, and that is why they fear you. For years they made you doubt yourself. They rejected you, hoping you would reject yourself. They tried to break you, hoping you would never stand up again. But every single time you rose. Every single time you walked away stronger. And now they have no choice but to acknowledge what they tried so hard to ignore. Your light is not just seen, it is felt. It lingers in rooms you leave. It echoes in the minds of those who crossed your path. It haunts them. Your very existence is proof that their control is slipping. And so, they sent someone, a detective, someone to investigate, to dig into your past, to try and find the secret behind what makes you so different. They think this is something that can be learned, something that can be copied. They think if they just gather enough information, they can become what you are. But let them search. Let them chase shadows, because they will never find what does not belong to them. You did not choose this path. The universe chose it for you. The power within you is not something that can be stolen. It is not something that can be taken apart and studied. It is woven into your very being. It is why you walk through fire and come out untouched. Why you lose everything and still rise with more. And yet, you still doubt yourself. You still wonder if you are alone. You still question your own strength. You still look at the scars and think they are proof of weakness instead of survival. But let me tell you something. The universe doesn't waste power. If you were not meant to carry this, you never would have been chosen. So stand up, straighten your back. Stop hiding your light just because it burns their eyes. They will talk, they will scheme, they will search for ways to bring you down. But in the end, they will learn what every enemy of the chosen has learned. You cannot break what was built by the universe itself. So, do you feel it? That pull in your gut, that voice telling you this message was meant for you. If you're a true chosen one, you won't just watch, you'll feel every word. Drop the number 777 in the comments if you know they're after you because you shook their world. And now, let's break it down step by step. Stay till the end, because trust me, this will hit different. Let's get started. Number 1. They built a cage, but you were never meant to fit. A mind that refuses to be caged is the greatest threat to those who profit from chains. They thought they had you cornered. They watched you struggle, thinking you were just another lost soul, another pawn in their system. But what they failed to see, what they never accounted for, was that you were never playing their game to begin with. They built rules, but you broke them. They set limits, but you shattered them. They conditioned the masses to accept, obey, and comply. But you questioned, resisted, and rebelled. That's why they fear you. That's why they're after you. And the funniest part? You weren't even trying to be a threat. You were just being. But listen to me, chosen one. How dare you doubt yourself? How dare you sit there and wonder if you are alone? How dare you look at yourself as weak when the entire system had to mobilize against you? If you were powerless, they would have ignored you. If you were ordinary, they wouldn't be afraid. They were playing with their system, their rules, their order, until you walked in and ruined everything. The moment you rejected their mold, the moment you stopped playing along, their entire structure started shaking. Their numbers didn't add up anymore. Their predictability failed. Because you, yes, you, became the variable they never saw coming. And now, they have no choice but to chase you. They want to study you, analyze you, understand what makes you so different. But let me tell you something. This power you carry, it cannot be studied, it cannot be learned, it cannot be replicated. It is not something written in books or taught in secret rooms. It was written into you. And still, you doubt. Still, you wonder if you are strong enough. Still, you question if you are on the right path. But tell me this, why do you think the universe keeps making a way for you? Do you think it's all just luck? Do you think it's coincidence that, despite everything they threw at you, despite every attempt to break you, you are still standing? Do you think it's an accident that no matter how much they plot, somehow, some way, you always find your way through? No, chosen one, this is alignment, this is power, this is the universe itself bending reality in your favor. And let me tell you something else, they know it too. That's why they don't just try to stop you physically. That's why their biggest weapon against you is doubt. Because they know that as long as you believe, as long as you stand firm in who you are, they have already lost. So they isolate you. They plant seeds of fear. They whisper in your ear, telling you that you are lost, that you are on the wrong path, that you are alone. They want you to forget who you are, because the moment you do, you become controllable. But let me remind you, darkness fears the light, not the other way around. They have tried everything, yet here you are, untamed, unshaken, unstoppable, and that realization terrifies them, because if one chosen one like you can break free, what happens when others do too? This path was never meant to be easy. It was never meant to be comfortable. It was meant to make you unbreakable. Every obstacle you have faced, every betrayal, every moment of doubt, it was all a test, a refinement, a forging of something indestructible. And now, here you stand, the living proof that their system is failing. You don't need their approval. You don't need their validation. You need to remember who you are. So let them come. Let them investigate. Let them whisper your name in fear, because at the end of the day, you are not the one who should be worried. They are. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to stand out. And now, it's too late for them to stop you. Number 2. The war they wage is in your mind. Control the mind, and you control the man. But what happens when the mind refuses to be owned? This is where they attack first. Not your body, not your surroundings, your mind, because they know the real war was never out there. It has always been inside you. They will whisper in your ear, feeding you doubt, poisoning your confidence. This fight is pointless, they'll say. You're exhausting yourself for nothing. Just give in. It's easier that way. But you and I both know there is no going back. Once you've seen behind the curtain, once you've recognized the lies, there is no unseeing it. The illusion is shattered. The spell is broken. And that is what terrifies them the most. Because a mind that wakes up can never be controlled again. That is why they come after you. That is why they target you with fear, with distractions, with exhaustion. They don't need to chain your body if they can chain your thoughts. They don't need to imprison you if they can make you imprison yourself. And I'll tell you the brutal truth, chosen one, they are good at this. They know exactly how to make you doubt yourself, how to make you believe you are lost, how to plant just enough fear, just enough confusion, that you start questioning if you were ever chosen at all. That is their true weapon. Not power, not strength, but deception. But let me ask you, if they were right, if you were truly powerless, then why do they work so hard to break you? If you were insignificant, why do they spend so much energy trying to convince you that you are? Because deep down, they know. They know that if you ever embrace your power, if you ever silence their voices and listen to the truth inside you, you will become unstoppable. And that is what this battle is truly about. Not them silencing you, but them making you silence yourself. So tell me, chosen one, are you going to let them win? Are you going to let their whispers decide your destiny? Are you going to let the lies of the weak rewrite the truth of the strong? No, you are not. Because you didn't make it this far just to be broken by illusions. You didn't endure the pain, the trials, the betrayals, just to crumble at the final stretch. You have seen too much. You have felt too much. You know too much. And if you needed a reminder, then let this be it. They are scared of you for a reason. Every time you rise, every time you refuse to fall, they panic. Every time you break through their mind games, they scramble for new tactics. Because they know once you take full control of your mind, it's over for them. So let them whisper, let them scheme, let them do everything in their power to make you doubt yourself. And then, prove them wrong. Rise anyway, move forward anyway, step into your power anyway. Because no force in existence can stop the chosen when they finally decide to own their destiny. And if this message reached you, if it resonated deep in your soul, then let it be a sign that you were meant to hear this. You have come too far. You have fought too hard. And the universe does not waste power. Now is not the time to shrink back. Now is not the time to doubt. Now is the time to step forward and claim what was always yours. They want your mind because they know your body was never the real battlefield. But they have already lost because the moment you woke up, their control shattered. Number 3. You walked in and the room changed. That's not an accident. Some people demand attention. Others command it without a word, and that kind terrifies the weak. They felt you before they saw you, the shift in the air, the tension in the space, the unexplainable pull that made every head turn, every conversation pause. And the best part? You did nothing. You didn't force it. You didn't try. You simply existed, and yet they all noticed. Some couldn't stop looking. Some looked away too quickly, afraid to get caught staring. Some wanted you. Some hated you. All of them felt you. And that is where the real battle begins. because you are not just another person in the crowd. You are not someone they can dismiss, and that makes them uneasy. They will try to explain it away, try to rationalize why they feel so drawn to you, why their heartbeat changes when you enter the room. Some will say it's confidence, others will say it's luck. But deep down, they know what you carry. It can't be faked. It can't be learned. It's either in you or it's not. And that is where the envy starts. Men will feel threatened, even if you've done nothing to them. Women will feel intrigued, but also unsettled. Some will want to be close to you, while others will resent the fact that they can't figure you out. Because here's the truth, chosen one, you disrupt the balance wherever you go. You walk in, and the energy shifts. You speak, and people remember your words long after you're gone. Your presence alone forces people to confront something deep inside themselves. And that is why they either want to be near you or destroy you, because you remind them of what they are not. You remind them of the power they don't have, the confidence they wish they carried, the authenticity they lost when they sold their soul to the system. And so they react. Some will try to use you, to attach themselves to you, hoping your energy will somehow transfer to them. Some will try to break you, to dim your light, so they don't have to feel their own inadequacy. And some will just disappear. You'll notice it. The silent exits, the friendships that suddenly fade, the people who once celebrated you now keeping their distance. But let me tell you something. This is not a loss. This is a purge. The truth is, they were never meant to stay. You are shifting, rising. Your energy is no longer compatible with those who vibrate on a lower frequency. You were never meant to be surrounded by people who needed you to shrink so they could feel comfortable. The ones leaving, they were never on your level to begin with. And the ones who try to take you down, they are proof that you are ascending. So don't mourn the losses. Don't chase after the ones who walked away. The universe is clearing the path. It is making room for those who can stand in your light without being blinded by it. And yes, there will be days where you feel alone, days where you wonder if this power is a gift or a curse. But hear me now, it is only a curse if you resist it. Lean into it, own it. Accept that you were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out, to change spaces simply by being in them. And as for those who fear you, who envy you, who try to bring you down, let them watch, let them wonder, let them waste their energy trying to figure out what was never meant for them. Because you were not made to be understood. You were made to be felt. They can't explain you, they can't ignore you, and that is why they will never stop thinking about you. Number 4, you are the question they'll never answer. Some people leave an impression, others leave a mark so deep, even time cannot erase it. They can't put their finger on it. They can't explain why you linger in their minds, why they replay your words long after you've left, why your presence weighs heavy in a room without effort. But they feel it. You are the question that has no answer, the mystery they will never solve. And that drives them insane. Because people like things they can define, categorize, and control. They like to fit everything into neat little boxes, to know where everything belongs. But you don't fit anywhere. You are untamed energy, constantly shifting, constantly evolving. Every time they think they've figured you out, you show another side of yourself. Every time they think they understand, you shatter their assumptions. And that's what keeps them coming back. They try to reduce you to labels, charismatic, lucky, successful. But deep down, they know those words are empty. They are just placeholders for something they can't grasp, something that makes them uncomfortable. Because what you carry is not something that can be explained. It's not charm, it's not chance, it's power. Real, undeniable, uncontainable power. Your voice doesn't just speak, it commands. Your presence doesn't just exist, it dominates. Your silence isn't empty. It fills the space with an energy they don't know how to process. And when they look at you, they don't just see a person, they see a force. That's why when you walk into a room, the air changes. That's why conversations pause, why eyes linger a little too long, why people either move closer to you or suddenly get uncomfortable and look away, because your very existence reminds them of what they are not. And for some, that is a beautiful thing. But for others, it is a threat. They don't fear your words. They don't fear your success. They fear what they cannot understand. Because how do you defeat someone when you don't even know what they are? How do you break someone who is constantly reborn, who reinvents themselves with every challenge, who refuses to be trapped by the limits others live by? That is what keeps them awake at night. You are the anomaly, the unpredictable factor in a world that thrives on predictability, the awakened in a world full of sleepers. And do you know what happens when an awakened soul walks among the blind? The blind get uncomfortable. They pretend they don't see you, but they do. They pretend you don't affect them, but you do, because your energy cannot be ignored. It is imprinted in their minds. It follows them even after you've left. They try to forget, but they can't. And that's what sets you apart. Ordinary people come and go. You stay. Not physically, but in their thoughts, in their memories, in the way they suddenly question everything they once believed about power, presence, and possibility. And you did all that without even trying. That is why you are feared. That is why you are envied. That is why you are hunted. Because you cannot be solved. And people hate what they cannot define. But you were never meant to be understood. You were meant to be felt. And that is why, no matter how much they try to ignore you, no matter how much they try to discredit you, they will never stop thinking about you. Because your existence itself is the riddle they will never solve. You are not just seen, you are remembered. And that is the greatest power of all. Number 5. Your isolation is their escape, but your freedom. The higher you rise, the thinner the air. Not everyone is meant to breathe where you are going. They will either cling to you or flee from you. There is no in-between. Because your presence forces them to see things they would rather ignore. You don't just exist, you expose. You pull down the carefully crafted masks, strip away the illusions, and force people to confront their own truth. And that terrifies them. Some will latch onto you, hoping that by standing next to your fire, they can steal some of its warmth. Others will run the moment they realize you are not someone they can deceive, manipulate, or control. But one thing is certain, no one leaves your life by accident. Every loss you've experienced, every friendship that faded, every person who walked away without explanation, it wasn't a loss. It was a purging. The universe is making room. Because not everyone is meant to walk with you. Not everyone can handle your energy. Not everyone can stand in your light without being burned by it. And I know, it feels lonely. There were days you looked around and wondered if you were truly alone, if you would ever find people who understood you, if this power, this awareness, was more of a burden than a gift. But listen to me carefully. Your loneliness is not a punishment. It is a preparation. Because those who were stripped from your life, they were never meant to last. They were taking more than they were giving. They were draining you, limiting you, keeping you trapped in cycles you were never meant to stay in. And now, you are free. At first, it won't feel like freedom. It will feel like emptiness, like silence, like something is missing. But give it time, because soon you will realize the weight is gone. The people who once held you back are no longer pulling at your energy. The ones who once filled your space with doubt, distraction, and deception have vanished. And in that space, something new begins to form. People like you, people who think like you, people who feel like you. Not energy thieves, not manipulators, but real ones. The kind of people who don't need you to dim your light for them to shine. The kind of people who don't envy your strength, but recognize it because they have it too. This is the stage where you stop attracting those who need saving and start attracting those who are already on your level. But first, the clearing had to happen. So stop mourning what was removed. Stop longing for people who couldn't handle the real you. Stop looking back at doors that the universe slammed shut in your face. Because your destiny isn't behind you, it's ahead. And no, it will not be a crowded road. But the ones who do walk it with you, they will be unshakable. You don't need a crowd. You don't need validation. You don't need to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. Because let's be honest, you never did. Even when you tried, even when you played along, pretending to be like them, something always felt off. Something inside you always resisted. Because you were not made for the world of the blind. You were made to see. And that is both a burden and a blessing. Yes, it will get lonely. Yes, some days you will feel like you are walking this path alone. But that is only temporary. Because what's waiting for you on the other side? Something greater than anything you left behind. You didn't lose them, they lost you, and that will haunt them more than it ever hurt you. Number 6. Your energy pulls everything toward you. Choose wisely. You are not just walking through life, you are shaping it with every thought, every choice, every vibration you send out into the world. Energy does not lie. It does not pretend. It attracts exactly what it reflects. If you carry strength, strong people will come into your life. If you carry doubt, you will meet manipulators who prey on uncertainty. If you walk in power, you will command respect. If you shrink in fear, you will attract those who seek to control. You are a gravitational force. But the question is, what are you pulling toward you? Because here's the truth. You are not just experiencing reality. You are creating it. The thoughts you repeat, the emotions you dwell in, the energy you allow yourself to live in, it all builds the world around you. And this is why the chosen ones are tested the hardest. Because those who are meant for greatness must first learn how to control their own reality. If you are easily swayed by fear, life will bring you more reasons to fear. If you constantly feel defeated, life will keep you in situations that prove you are. If you believe you are unworthy, you will encounter people who reinforce that belief. But if you stand firm in your power, if you refuse to break, if you believe, truly believe, you are destined for more, then the universe will move mountains to align with that belief. And yes, that means trials will come. Yes, that means enemies will rise. But let me tell you something. This is the same path every chosen one has walked. You are not the first to be tested. You are not the first to be isolated, envied, attacked. Look through history. Those who carried light always attracted darkness. Those who had power always became a target. but the difference between those who survived and those who didn't. They refused to let the trials change them. They stood in fire and did not burn. They walked through storms and did not drown. They faced the full force of resistance, and instead of breaking, they became even stronger. This is what separates the real from the weak. Because the ones who don't understand energy, they become victims of it. They get consumed by fear, by doubt, by anger, and in doing so, they attract more of it. But you are different. You have seen the patterns. You have felt the shifts. You have woken up to the truth that your mind is the architect of your reality. So the question is, what kind of world are you building? Are you creating a world where you rise, where you attract power, where you step fully into your destiny? Or are you creating a world where you allow negativity to consume you, where you let fear dictate your steps? Because let me be very clear, you have that choice. And once you realize this, once you understand that your energy is the most powerful tool you have, everything changes. You stop allowing doubt to take root. You stop entertaining people who drain your spirit. You stop giving power to things that no longer serve you. And when that shift happens, everything around you shifts too. Because the moment you align your energy with strength, strength finds you. The moment you carry the mindset of a leader, leadership opportunities open. The moment you step into your true identity, everything that was meant for you starts moving toward you. This is not magic. This is not coincidence. This is law. The universe recognizes power. It recognizes truth. It recognizes those who refuse to be victims of their circumstances and instead choose to take control of their own destiny. And that is why you are being tested. Because the universe is watching. It is waiting. It is asking one question. Will you rise or will you fold? And your answer, it is not in your words. It is in your energy. Your world does not shape you. You shape your world. The only question is, what are you creating? Number 7. The fire that forges the chosen. Before the crown, there is the cross. Before the victory, there is the valley. Before the rise, there is the fire. You think you are alone in this? You think you are the first to be tested, rejected, betrayed. You are not. This is the path of the chosen, and it has never been an easy road. Look through history. Look at the ones who changed everything. Before they rose, they suffered. Before they became untouchable, they were cast out, humiliated, stripped of everything, left to wander in the desert alone. Because before the chosen can lead, they must first be broken, not to destroy them, but to forge them. Moses was not given power as a prince. He was given power in solitude, in the wilderness, when everything was taken from him, when he was no longer surrounded by wealth, by security, by comfort. That is where he learned what real power was, not Pharaoh's power, God's power. And then he returned to the very system that rejected him, and he tore it down. You think that was easy? You think that happened overnight? No, he was tested again and again, because only those who refuse to break can be trusted with true power. And then there was Christ. He wasn't just the carpenter's son. He wasn't just another man. He was chosen, and because of that, he was tested. 40 days in the wilderness, no food, no comfort, no help, only temptation. And what did Satan offer him? The world, all the kingdoms, all the wealth, all the power, the very things that people chase their entire lives, the things that make men sell their souls. But Christ, He refused, because he knew that real power was not found in gold, in thrones, in titles. Real power is untouchable, it is unshakable, it is divine. And for that, he was hunted, betrayed, rejected. Even those closest to him turned their backs. But in the end, the enemy lost. Because those who are truly chosen, they cannot be destroyed. And now, here you are, walking the same path. And it hurts, doesn't it? The loneliness, the betrayals, the nights where you question if you were ever meant to carry this burden, the moments where you wonder if you are strong enough, if you can survive the fire. But let me tell you something. This is not a punishment. This is preparation. You have been noticed. Your energy is different. Your presence is different. And that has made you a target. Maybe your friends are turning against you. Maybe people who once stood by your side are now the first to doubt you, to question you, to distance themselves from you. And you wonder, why? Why does it feel like the more you step into your power, the more you are isolated? Why does it feel like the moment you start moving toward your purpose, everything falls apart? Because that is the test. This is the fire that will either forge you or break you. But you are not here to be broken. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to take the easy road. You were never meant to be ordinary. You were chosen, and that means the road will be steep, the trials will be brutal, the betrayals will cut deep. But in the end, you will rise. Because what is chosen by the universe cannot be stopped by man. What is chosen by power cannot be overthrown by weakness. And you are the living proof that the chosen do not fall, they rise. Your trials are not your end. They are the proof that you were built for something greater. The question is, will you endure the fire long enough to see what's on the other side? Number 8. The final choice, rise or fall. The road to power is not for the weak. The path to victory is not for the faint-hearted. The chosen do not beg for destiny, they become it. This is it. The moment of decision. You have come too far, fought too hard, endured too much to stop now. But the enemy is relentless. They will throw everything at you: doubt, betrayal, exhaustion. They will make you question yourself, question your strength, question your very existence. Because they know what happens if you keep going. They know that if you endure the fire, you will come out of it untouchable, unbreakable, unstoppable. So they will try to break you before you reach that point. They will put obstacles in your path, not because you are weak, but because you are dangerous to their system. They will try to silence you, not because your words are meaningless, but because they shake the foundation of their lies. They will try to defame you, not because you have failed, but because they know you are rising too fast. Look through history. This is how the chosen have always been tested. Abraham was called to walk a path no one understood. Moses was sent to tear down an empire. Jesus was betrayed, mocked, hunted. But in the end, he rose. And now, it is your turn. But hear me when I say this. You have a choice. You can let their attacks weaken you. You can let the doubt creep in. You can let the distractions pull you away from your purpose. Or you can rise anyway. Because at the end of the day, no one is coming to save you. You are the savior of your own destiny. And that means you must choose your steps wisely. Every action you take is a signal to the universe. Every decision you make is either pulling you closer to power or away from it. So, protect your energy. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not every battle deserves your attention. Not every invitation should be accepted. There are people, places, environments designed to drain you, and if you keep entertaining them, you will never reach your full power. Let them go. You cannot carry dead weight and expect to ascend. You cannot hold on to those who harm you and expect to thrive. You cannot stay in toxic environments and expect to grow. You are not like them, and you cannot live like them. You have been recognized. Your presence is known. Your name is whispered. Your energy is felt. There is no hiding anymore. The moment you accepted who you are, the moment you stepped into your light, you became a force that cannot be ignored. So, what will you do with that power? Will you let fear shrink you back into the shadows? Will you let distractions pull you off your path? Will you let weak minds influence your strength? Or will you claim what is yours? This is your final choice. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now. Because the universe does not wait for those who hesitate. Destiny does not beg. Power does not pause. You either rise to meet it or you stay behind. This is your moment. This is your test. The chosen do not fear the fire. They walk through it. The only question left is, will you? Number 9. The final choice. Rise or fall. The road to power is not for the weak. The path to victory is not for the faint-hearted. The chosen do not beg for destiny. They become it. This is it. The moment of decision. You have come too far, fought too hard, endured too much to stop now. But the enemy is relentless. They will throw everything at you. Doubt, betrayal, exhaustion. They will make you question yourself, question your strength, question your very existence. Because they know what happens if you keep going. They know that if you endure the fire, you will come out of it untouchable, unbreakable, unstoppable. So they will try to break you before you reach that point. They will put obstacles in your path, not because you are weak, but because you are dangerous to their system. They will try to silence you, not because your words are meaningless, but because they shake the foundation of their lies. They will try to defame you, not because you have failed, but because they know you are rising too fast. Look through history. This is how the chosen have always been tested. Abraham was called to walk a path no one understood. Moses was sent to tear down an empire. Jesus was betrayed, mocked, hunted, but in the end, he rose. And now, it is your turn. But hear me when I say this. You have a choice. You can let their attacks weaken you. You can let the doubt creep in. You can let the distractions pull you away from your purpose. Or you can rise anyway. Because at the end of the day, no one is coming to save you. You are the savior of your own destiny. And that means you must choose your steps wisely. Every action you take is a signal to the universe. Every decision you make is either pulling you closer to power or away from it. So, protect your energy. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not every battle deserves your attention. Not every invitation should be accepted. There are people, places, environments designed to drain you, and if you keep entertaining them, you will never reach your full power. Let them go. You cannot carry dead weight and expect to ascend. You cannot hold on to those who harm you and expect to thrive. You cannot stay in toxic environments and expect to grow. You are not like them, and you cannot live like them. You have been recognized. Your presence is known. Your name is whispered. Your energy is felt. There is no hiding anymore. The moment you accepted who you are, the moment you stepped into your light, you became a force that cannot be ignored. So, what will you do with that power? Will you let fear shrink you back into the shadows? Will you let distractions pull you off your path? Will you let weak minds influence your strength? Or will you claim what is yours? This is your final choice. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now, because the universe does not wait for those who hesitate. Destiny does not beg. Power does not pause. You either rise to meet it or you stay behind. This is your moment. This is your test. The chosen do not fear the fire. They walk through it. The only question left is, will you? Number 10. Your eyes hold the truth. They fear. Some people speak the truth. Others are the truth. And their eyes reveal everything the world tries to hide. They say the eyes are the window to the soul, but your eyes are more than that. They are a mirror, a reflection that forces people to see themselves, their real selves, not the illusion they present to the world. And that is why some cannot meet your gaze. They shift uncomfortably. They look away. Their voice falters. Their confidence crumbles. Because in that moment, when your eyes lock onto theirs, they feel seen. Not their mask, not their rehearsed words, not the image they work so hard to protect, but their truth. And for many, that is terrifying, because people spend their whole lives hiding from others, from themselves, from the reality they refuse to face. But you see straight through it, and the moment your gaze meets theirs, their lies, their fears, their insecurities, all of it is exposed. Not because you are trying, not because you seek to tear them apart, but because your very presence strips away illusion. And that is a power very few possess. So yes, some will avoid looking at you. Some will shift in their seats, glance away too quickly, or pretend they don't notice you watching. Because deep down, they know. They know that in your eyes there is no room for deception. They know that whatever game they are playing, you are already ahead of them. But then there are the others. The ones who cannot look away. The ones who feel pulled in, drawn toward you, magnetized by something they do not understand. Because in you, they see something real, something they have been searching for but could never find, something that makes them feel safe yet exposed, something that makes them question everything they thought they knew. Some will be fascinated, some will be obsessed, some will mistake their attraction for love, not realizing that what they crave is not you, but the truth that radiates from you. And that is why you are different. You are not just another person moving through the world. You are a force, a presence that awakens, disrupts, exposes. Your spiritual light is too strong to be ignored. Your awareness is too sharp to be deceived. Your depth is too real for shallow people to handle. And that is why they fear you. Because you are not playing their game. You are not blind to the lies they tell themselves. You are not fooled by the masks they wear. You do not entertain illusions, you see. And they don't know what to do with someone who sees. Some will try to break you. Some will try to attach themselves to you. Some will want to be near you just to feel a piece of that power, that clarity, that presence. But remember this. Not everyone deserves access to your gaze. Not everyone can handle what they see when they look into your eyes. So choose wisely, because those who fear the truth will only try to silence it, and those who crave it will either rise with you or try to consume you. This is the cost of being awake in a world full of sleepers. But don't dim your light. Don't soften your gaze. Don't shrink to make others comfortable, because you were sent here to bring change. and the truth in your eyes? It is the fire that will burn away deception. They fear your eyes because they fear the truth, but the chosen do not close their eyes. They make the world see. Number 11. You were never meant to blend in. Some rise by force, others rise by presence alone, and those are the ones they fear the most. Even when you say nothing, they feel you. You don't have to fight for attention. You don't have to perform. You don't have to prove yourself, because your energy speaks louder than words. You can be the quietest person in the room, yet still the weight of your presence shifts the atmosphere. People notice. They sense something different, something they can't name, something that makes them look twice, listen closer, and question why they feel drawn to you. And that's exactly why you are a threat. Because in a world where people scream to be seen, you do nothing, and still they look. They talk loudly, exaggerate, seek validation, hoping to stand out in the crowd. But you exist in your own space, and that is enough. And that is power. Real power isn't found in volume. It isn't found in flashy words or desperate attempts for approval. Real power is presence, and presence cannot be faked. That is why the system recognizes you. That is why they have tried to ignore you. That is why they have tried to pull you in, to make you part of their machine, to mold you into something more predictable, something more controllable, but you don't fit. Because you are free, and freedom, that is their biggest fear. Because a person who is free cannot be controlled. A person who is free does not seek approval. A person who is free shatters the illusion that their system is the only way. So, at first, they tried to pretend you didn't exist. They brushed you aside, hoping you would fade into the background. They ignored your presence, hoping you would shrink. But you didn't. Your energy grew, your influence expanded. And now, they have no choice but to see you. And that is why they are moving differently now. They are watching you closely, studying you, trying to figure out how you carry this authority without force, how you command attention without effort, how you exist outside of their rules and still thrive. Because the truth is out now. They cannot ignore you. They cannot fit you into their system. They cannot make you ordinary. And that is what terrifies them the most. Because when someone like you exists, truly exists, freely, powerfully, unapologetically, it gives others permission to do the same. And that is the one thing they cannot allow. Because one chosen one is a problem, but a world full of awakened souls, that is a revolution. And you have already crossed the line. You have seen too much. You have woken up. And once you wake up, there is no going back. There is no more pretending, no more shrinking, no more making yourself small so others feel comfortable. That part of your life is over. You are no longer seeking validation. You are moving in purpose, and those who cannot handle your light, they will fall away. Those who try to challenge you, they will fail. Because your very existence is proof of what they fear the most, that their system is a lie. So let them watch, let them talk, let them try to break you. It's too late. You know who you are now, and that changes everything. Ordinary was never an option. You are not meant to fit in. You are meant to lead. And now that you know that, there is no turning back. Number 12. 2 roads, 1 truth. You were never meant to follow. There comes a moment when every chosen one must decide, fade into the background, or step into destiny. One road is easy, the other is eternal. Now you stand at the crossroads. One path leads back into the crowd, into silence, into a life of obedience, conformity, and invisibility. A life where you deny everything you have seen, everything you have felt, and pretend that you were never meant for more. The other path is yours to carve. It is the unknown, the untamed, the road that has never been walked before, because it was meant for you and you alone. And here's the truth: there is no going back. Not for someone like you, not for someone who has woken up, who has felt the shift, who has seen the system for what it is. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out. And that is what terrifies them. Because you are not just another person. You are a beacon. Whether you like it or not, your existence shakes things. Your energy disrupts, exposes, awakens. You think your realization is just about you. No, your awakening is a ripple effect. Others are watching you, listening to you, feeling your presence even when they don't understand why. Some will be inspired, some will be threatened, some will be drawn to you, while others will hate you simply because you exist. And that is why they fear you, because your consciousness is a weapon. If you wield it correctly, you can shift reality itself. If you don't, they will use every trick, every lie, every illusion to turn it against you. So move with awareness, speak with intent. Do not waste your energy on battles that do not serve your purpose, because every step you take is not just for you. It is for every other soul like you who is still lost, still searching, still waiting for proof that they are not alone. And that is why they want to silence you. They want you confused, distracted, lost in an internal war, so that you never fully step into your power. But when you walk with divine purpose, when you align yourself with the force that chose you, your path will be illuminated. And that is where your power truly begins. Because let me tell you something, no amount of watching, no amount of investigating, no amount of control can reveal your true power. Not one detective, not 10, not 100. Because this is not something they can study. This is not something that can be measured, analyzed, or explained. This is beyond human comprehension. A gift, a force, a calling placed upon you by something far greater than this world. They felt it from the start. Even before they could name it, even before they could articulate it, they knew. There was something about you, something unusual, unshakable, unstoppable. But the more they tried to understand, the more restless they became. Because you are not like them. Your mind does not move like theirs. Your spirit does not break like theirs. Your power does not obey the rules of their system. And that is why they fear you. They cannot categorize you. They cannot contain you. They cannot control you. And the harder they try, the more they expose their own weakness. Because you are something outside of their design. Something that was never meant to be tamed. Something that was set apart from the very beginning. A force that refuses to be broken. And now that you know this, now that you feel this truth in your bones, what will you do? Will you shrink? Will you dim your light to make them comfortable? Will you take the easy road and pretend this calling does not exist? Or will you step forward, fully, completely, without fear? Because let me tell you something, you were never meant to be ordinary, and no matter how much they try, no matter what they do, they will never unravel the mystery of who you are, because you are beyond them, and that will haunt them forever. The system cannot define you. The world cannot claim you, because you were never theirs to begin with. Number 13. They fear you because they cannot control you. The system does not fear the weak. It does not fear the blind. It fears those who see, because those who see cannot be deceived. But ask yourself, why? Why are they so obsessed with you? Why do they watch you so closely? Why do they study your every move, analyze your energy, track your presence as if you are the missing piece to a puzzle they cannot solve? It's not just that you're different, it's that you are the very thing that threatens their existence. Because this world, it was built on obedience, on control, on keeping people small, predictable, and dependent. But then, there's you. Someone who doesn't just exist, but disrupts. Someone who doesn't just live, but awakens. They look at you, and they see something they don't see in others. A mind that is not controlled, a soul that is not owned, a force that does not bend. And that is a problem for them, because the system thrives when people comply. And you were born to break that cycle. That's why they are afraid. That's why they keep trying to understand you, to decode you, to find a way to neutralize you before you wake up even more. Because when one chosen one wakes up, others follow. And that is what they fear the most. They don't just fear you, they fear what you will awaken in others. Because when enough people start thinking for themselves, when enough people start questioning the system, the illusion crumbles. And without the illusion, they have no power. So look around. Haven't you noticed the shift? The strange stares from strangers, the sudden resistance from people who once welcomed you, the tension in spaces where you once blended in with no issue. Some avoid you now, pretending they don't see you. Others try to tear you down, belittle you, make you doubt yourself. And then there are the ones who are drawn to you, even though they don't know why. They sense something in you, something powerful, something different, something they can't explain. But do you really think these are coincidences? No, because the truth is beginning to reveal itself to you. And now, the only question left is, are you ready for it? Because the moment you embrace this, the moment you fully step into who you are, there is no going back, no more blending in, no more shrinking yourself, no more pretending you don't see what's happening, because once you see, you can never unsee. And once you step into your full power, nothing can stop you. That is why they fear you. That is why they are desperate to keep you distracted, to keep you doubting yourself, to make you second-guess the power that has been inside you all along, because they know something most people don't. Once a chosen one fully awakens, the system loses its grip. And that is their greatest nightmare. So what will you do now? Will you let their fear become your doubt? Or will you rise, knowing that you are already beyond their control? Because the truth is, they have already lost. You see too much. You know too much. You are too strong to break. And now, it's only a matter of time before you step into everything you were meant to be. They don't fear your power. They fear the day you realize just how powerful you truly are.